Okay, we're back for the pre-show this week, going into our week 4. I got David with me again and Nathan. Thank you guys for joining me. We're going to go through our 10 races. Got 10 races, 2 daily doubles, and a pick 4. This time we're going to start off with Nathan. Nathan, who do you like in our opening race, Phillies and Mares Open?
Well, I'm going to go to the 3 Pure Edition easy winner in the Phillies and Mares Open last week. Oh, got away. Had a good trip, got away second there, but then pulled between like the half and 3/4, and she just drove on, and it was open road for her. So I'm going to see it as a repeat here for her. And like I said last week, strong barn of Trevor Williams. So I think this man is going to be pretty hard to touch in this event. So it's hard to go for a price in this race.
Yeah, just do your
Um,
drop through quick.
Another one I kind of look at for second, go to the inside. Cowboys Dream also raced in the Phillies Mares Open last week. Had the 4 hole, just kind of say the mix, got away fourth, end up third. So she really only advanced a little bit, but getting an inside post can maybe be an exactor factor in this race for third. I went to the 2. This is another one that raced in the Phillies Mares Open. So all these horses, they know each other, they're familiar with one another. Was second there, so had post 1, so draws well again. Shouldn't have any problem getting to the try once again.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, man. What about you, Dave?
I got the same numbers, 3-1-2, same as Nathan here. Just mentioned that Glenn LeDrew back in the bike this week, first drive. Might go right back to the circle, get that winning feeling going all over again. So I got 3-1-2 in the first.
Yeah, I the only difference I have, I got just 3, 2, and 1. I like how Tammy Blue's been running, but you can't count out a Cowboys dream. Just kind of going based off of last week's rundown, but the inside post definitely can help. Race number 2, we only got 4 in the horse and geldings open this weekend. Nathan, what do you like in this one?
Well, again, I'm going another favorite here. Read the proposal. I mean, there's just some really strong horses in these races so far, and this got 9-year-old Better to Like Gelding was in the Open last week. Easy winner there in 58-1. Just made the front. Couldn't catch him at all. Going for 4 wins a row. Back in the top pacing event this week as well. Read the proposal. I don't see anything changing. Just it's just hard to go against. For second, I went to the 1 horse. Raced in here last week. Third and 58-2. Least one inside post again. Maybe could hang on to an exactor ticket there, but it's just so hard to go against. Read the proposal. And here for third, I went to the 2 Baylor out. Second in this event last week. Was not a winner since his qualifier back on June 13th, but seems to be hitting the board every time, but just not enough to get that win ticket. So I'm going to go 4, 1, 2 in the second.
Sounds good. What about you, Dave?
I like the way the 2 Baylor out closed on off his last half last week, only going down by less than a length. I think he could turn it around this week on the 4. I took the 2 on top. I took the 4 second. It's probably a 2-horse race between the 2 and the 4. We'll see who comes out on top. And for third, I took the 1 rail, trip out, get a third. 2, 4, 1.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I went with the 4 and then just can't count out Glenn. And I liked how the 2 was Baylor out was last weekend and number 1 at Pocketeur for third. Now race number 3. This is the one I'm really interested in what you guys have to say. Nathan, how would you lead us off?
Well, I was kind of torn between the 1 Promise Me Win, the 2 Colonel Kelly. I think these ones are both kind of sitting on a win. Promise Me Win yet to win a race yet in his life. But I think if this is going to be the time where he's going to win, I think this is the opportunity because he's been knocking on the door. He's coming off 2 seconds in a row. Now, this Cole, he's had an inside post last time, the rail as well, 2-1 and 2 seconds. So, been knocking on the door, as I said, and I think this could be the week, but still can't count out the 2 Colonel Kelly. Second last time out was second the week before as well. Has shown some early speed with an inside post. I think he can maybe navigate this race and lead it, but I think the 1 and 2 are going to be the main players in here. to add on to the try for third, I went to the 5. Third, last time out was a winner before, but 2, 8, and 1. The time just not matching up to the 1 and 2, so that's why I left that one at the third spot. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 5 in the third.
Awesome. Sounds good. What about you, Dave?
I went with the one in this race. I think it was looking pretty good last week until he got bumpy down the lane. Looked like he might have been able to pull off the closing night out. For second, I went with the 5. Hopefully stays flat this week. Put in steps last week. And for third, I went with the 2, Colonel Kelly. Should trip out from my inside post. Depending on who comes first over, whether he gets out or not is going to be the question to see. And I went 1, 5, 2 in this one.
Sounds good. I went a little off board on this one, just off a hunch. I went with my bud Daryl with Get It Done. But Dave, you should know better. You go with the hot hand. Nathan, you're maybe a little young to know that. You never leave the table, right, when you're on a hot hand. And I think Daryl Thiessen with Get It Done, Bud. And I'm hoping I'm the only person that makes this bet, and I'll walk away with the whole triactor. But I do like Promise Me a Win. I don't know if Michelle Ray will let Daryl beat him twice in a row with that colt, but you never know. And then for third, I'm going to put the Colonel Kelly.
Hopefully Daryl Thiessen can make a difference on this horse. Wasn't really impressed with the form that he's been showing. A little bit better last time out, but maybe Daryl can get this horse the trip he needs, his second drive back, but I still have to go with Promise Me a Win in here.
You know what, man? If it was guaranteed, why would we bet on it, right? So that's what we got to try to do. So in race number 4 here, Nathan, who do you like?
This event, nothing really caught my attention in this one. I mean, I just couldn't really figure out what direction to go, so I just went to the 5. Toughest Buff, made a break last time out. We'll be looking for a bounce back effort. Handicap realized the horse had one bad start. You have to look at the big picture. Toss out at the latest. Wasn't showing much before, but his times just seemed to compare very well to the rest of this group. 2, 2, and 4 before that at Century Downs, and none of the other horses are showing times like that. So I'll toss out his latest, and I'll give him a shot in this very wide open group. For second, I'll go to the 4, Blackjack Charlie. This 2-year-old last time out finished 6 and 2, 6 and 3. But you notice on this horse, gradually improving time, so that does look promising and should show some improvement in this race tomorrow. Also touch on the 2, Sky's Little Spunk. First lifetime start last time out, third and 2, 13 and 2. Notably the good mile, but could show some improvement here as well as, like I said, the last 2-year-old. So first lifetime start's not too bad. So I'm going to go 5, 4, 3 in here.
Awesome. What about you, Dave?
I went with a 5. Just use the angle of 3-year-old versus 2-year-olds. I think that might make a big difference in this one.
More experience, definitely.
Exactly. Hopefully, he stays flat. Should give it a good run. The 3-horse, time wise, probably the best times on the form for the local horses. So put him in for second, or sorry, her in for second. And for third, I went with the rail horse. Just think it'd trip out. Probably knock a couple seconds off its qualifier and run a solid race. I went 5, 3, 1.
That sounds good. I had the same hunch as you. I went with the 1 to win this one. This was one of my other long plays. I thought, it's going to knock a couple seconds off its qualifier time. Probably could do it in 2:06, maybe 2:05. And then Toughest Buff, I should have looked back. I didn't actually know what he finished the race last week. So I was thinking if you convert those century times into Manitoba, it'd be around 2:05. So I was thinking those two would definitely have similar times. And then I went with Go On Bobo for third. In race number 5, we got the claiming and the start of our pick for Nathan. Who do you like in this one?
Well, I think there's 3 that are win prospects in this race. I did go the 5, List Place. Race in the Open on July 10th. Finished 4th, 15 and 4. Was a winner 3 back in the Open. Now drops to the claiming levels from 3,500 to 45, 5,500 handicap. So a big class relief for this one. The times compare very well. He should be competitive in this race. So dropping the claiming price to 4,500 should be good to go. But again, there's some others that are very big win factors in here, and that's going to be the 6 Red Star Tiger. Finished second, was place first last week. Just 59-4, competitive, but does draw post 6, so that could be against him a little bit, but it hasn't stopped him in the past. For third, I'll go to number 2. This one raced for $3,500, did make a break right near the finish last week, so we'll be looking for that bounce back effort. The rail shut off that one. 5-6-2 for me in the 5th.
Awesome. Dave, what about you?
Me and Nathan have the same top 2 in this race. I went with the old classy Liz Plays. Hopefully can use his back class to put it over the top for this week. Red Star Tiger closing off looked good last week. Got a little lucky when the 2 put in steps near the finish line. And then for third, I went with the 1. Great cool. I think it'll show enough speed, trip out. The 2, I like the 2. The only problem is can't stay flat. Got to stay away this week.
Yeah, sounds good. I went with Liz Placed. I did take Marv the Rat. I think I'm hoping he'll stay flat. And then I went with Red Star Tiger for third. Race number 6, Nathan, man, who do you like in this one?
In the 6th race, I'm going to go to the 2, Mr. Dillon. So this was an hour's $800 lifetime. This 3-year-old colt raced on July 10th, finished second, 2-6-2. Decent time for this bunch, so can show a little bit early speed, not a whole lot. But with post 2, I think getting more experience under his belt now, 4th lifetime start. This could be the key to him, just getting more experience and seems dropping 2-3 seconds every week. So hopefully he can drop like another second, and that should give him the win if he can just step it up a little bit. For second, I went to the 1, Inside Joke. Racing a tougher bunch last time out, finished 6-2, 4-2. And again, that one's mile is very competitive in this group. So with the inside post, 72, it seems like okay price morning line for this one. I think he'll drop below that though. For third, I went to the 4, Flying on My Own. Scratched last time out, but the time before in the qualifier, qualified actually that day in 2-6 flat by 5 lengths. I think this 3-year-old just need to bring his A game, but I got to go 2-1-4 in the 6th race, just going off experience in the last couple starts.
Awesome. Sounds good. What about you, David?
I ended up picking the 4. I really like that qualifier. 206 stays flat. If he runs 206, probably good enough to win this one. I went with the rail horse for second. Experience, the 204 time looks good comparative in this field. And then for third, I took the 5. Broke last week, still ran a really good mile in 207. If he stays flat, probably in the 205, 206 range. So 4-1-5.
Yeah, awesome. Sounds good. I took the same as Dave. I just switched the 5 and the 1 around. I like Al's Dragon Jack. But Inside Joke, I think, has a real good shot this week. But I agree. I think Kirk Rogers with the 4, Flying on My Own, to get his first win of the season here. Race number 7, Nathan, who do you like in this one?
The direction I'm going in this one is the 2, Send Me a Tweet. Raced here last time out in a bit of a tougher bunch, dropping a bit. Finished second, 2, 3, and 4. I think this filly, she should be able to be competitive in here. This is probably the easiest she's faced in a long time, and probably since her first lifetime start on June 26th. So I think she can show a bit of early speed. Should have a break her first lifetime start, but has avoided that since. Got away second last week, so I think if she can get on the lead or get another pocket trip, she should get a good journey and maybe get out near the end and go right around them. So Send Me a Tweet on top. For second, I'll go to the 5, Little Piece of My Heart. Coming from Hanover Racer in July, third, finished 6-2, 2-4, just wasn't cutting it on the Ontario circuit, so facing a bit easier here. I'm kind of curious what this one could do, and Daryl Thiessen on board. So I think this one could be a major exactor factor here with Daryl on. For third, I'll go to the 4, Having Fun in the Sun. Third last time out, 5th time before. For this one, I think she just needs to step up her game a bit, and she could be a try factor. Race 7, 2-5-4.
Awesome. Sounds good. What about you, David?
I just flipped the first 2 in that. I went Daryl Thiessen. I jumped on the bandwagon for this one. I think he's got a good chance to win. Like the Ontario horse shipping in, going to the hot barn, hot driver on, looks good. 2 for second, trips out, comes second, and then the 4 was hopefully might get a little bit of a price for third, but we'll see. 2, 4.
Yes, sounds good, man. Yeah, great minds think alike. I got the 5, 2, and the 4 as well. Nathan's got some good points with the 2, and we'll see how the Ontario import does.
It's between those two.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Race number 8, Nathan, who do you like in this one?
I'm going the way of the 3 Farmer Strike Fame. The last high percentage barn said before of Trevor Williams. Last 3 starts hasn't missed the top 2 and just seems to be getting better every single week. And she's got early speed, and you need that on the smaller half-mile tracks, and that's really the key. And if she can finish well, I think it's gonna be pretty hard to catch her. And the form she's been on is pretty amazing. For second, though, if there's one to beat her, I went to the 6. State Your Case. Got the first lifetime win last time, a winner by 8 lengths in 2, 2, and 4. She just got on the lead right on her game, and they couldn't touch her in that event. Does have a little factor against her with post 6, so a bit of a challenge there, but should be top 2, I'm thinking. For third, to add on to the try, I'm going to go to the 2 Shoes. Made a break last mountain in the half quarters, but 3 back was a winner in 2, 3, and 4. I think if he just steps up his time a little bit and gets some more speed, he could maybe be a top 2, but I'll leave him for third for now as a try. Awesome. Race 8, 3, 6, 2.
Sounds good. What about you, David?
I went with the 3 as well. Looks like he's got the gate speed. He's improving. Times are coming down every mile. So I went 3 on top. 2, hopefully stays flat this week. Even by breaking last week, still managed to come third in 2:03 respectable time. And for third, we'll see how the serial killer bounces back after last week suffering his first loss. We'll see what's in the tank for this week. 3, 2, 4.
Yeah, I went with 3 as well. I agree with serial killer. It's a typo in the program. It doesn't have the break that I think that one could have easily. Daryl disagreed, but I think it could have won if it didn't break. Daryl said he had it beat no matter what. And then I'll go with the 6, State Your Case to finish my triactor. But we'll go to race number 9. Nathan, who do you like?
Well, I'm going against the morning line odds. I'm going to go to the 4, Don't Rock the Boat, facing easier. Failed at the top 3's last 5, but facing an easier bunch and not being in the open, I think that makes a big difference in this event. For second, it went to the 1, Bold and Sporty. Pulled up last time, broken equipment, so I think if she can stay flat and stay in the mix, obviously miscue last time, so I just tossed it out. I think she can be a major player, and I'm excited to see what she can offer at this track. But I think just the drop in class for Don't Rock the Boat, hard to go against them. For third, I went to the 3, Nelly's on the Money. She's been racing on okay form, 4th, 3rd, 2nd. Just the time's a little better lately, so that's a little promising. So race 9, going 4, 1, 3.
Sounds good. What about you, David?
I went with the rail horse. Glenn getting back on this horse, maybe a little familiar with it. Last week, it looked like it wanted to run in the 2 and 3 path for a little bit there. I wasn't scared of the pylons or something. It just didn't work out. So back with Glenn back, I think he takes it to the winner's circle. For second, I went with the 4, Big Class Relief, dropping out of the open into this. Should find this a lot easier. And then for third, I went with the 2, might trip out. Chris Brown might pop one here at really big odds. It's probably double digits for sure on the 2, 1, 4, 2.
Yeah, I went with the 1. Believe it just ended up turning into a 3-legged runner at the half mark there. And at the barns afterwards, they were talking about it could have won probably if they didn't pull it up. So, even still, so I'm going to take the 1. And for second, I'm going to go with the 3, Nelly's on the Money. And for third, I'm going to go with the 5, Zippity Zoom. I think Don't Rock the Boat's got a chance. And number 2, Flaming Blue Star, because I didn't pick Chris last week. He went and won. So I'm keeping Chris off my top 3 just for that. I hope you're watching, Chris. And we're going to go to race number 10, the finale of our card. Nathan.
10th and final. here we go. Going to the one, Hurry Home, raced on July 10th, was a winner there in 2-1 flat. Was a dead heat 2-back, so last 3 starts, 2 wins, a 4th, and pretty good time there on her card. So with the rail, and she can show a little early speed if she wants to. So she seems like the one to beat in this bunch with a good position and good form. For second, I'll go to the 6 Philly. She's yet to lose in her lifetime yet, and has done well in the jump up in classes, and just seems to be improving every week, and gets a bit of a challenge there at post 6, but hey, she's done it before, so that doesn't scare me at all. For third, I'll go to the 2 Millie's Million, winner there by 8 last time, and this horse rarely misses hitting the board, so that's always important to look at. But this is a pretty solid group here. Like, a lot of them have a lot of wins on their card, money, and a lot of strong victories. So 162, and this wasn't an easy one to pick.
Of course not. Dave, what about you?
I took Philly returning after a week off. Looked like it had a lot left in the tank last go around. Ran 201. Probably sheds a couple seconds off that if the track is fast. For second, I went with Hurry Home. Last week, spot play, good odds. Hopefully bounce back. I think second for this week. And then for third, I went with 5, the Little Beast. Depends if he leaves or not. If he leaves, might find it tough to get to the front with the 2. If not, if he closes, probably more successful. I went 6-1-5.
Yeah, I went with the 6 Philly. I like its chances. Does have the outside, but when perfect season on the line. And I took number 2 Millie's Million for second, and for third I took the Hurry Home. Yeah, but it's a pretty tough race because I think Jim Strikes It Rich has a chance. The Little Beast has a chance. And I'm going to stay away from Buck Rogers only because I said it says Glenn LeDrew, but I'm going to assume he takes the Philly and my boy Chris Brown will take over, and I'm got to stay away from him. So I'm going to go 6-2-1. And that's our pregame show, guys. Thank you again for joining me. And post time should be coming up shortly.